about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist. Am I worth anything or just a scout? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
That was great. Sounds Watts with Outside on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Preston, with my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, Mr. Easy Blues. Easy Blues, you are always better with introductions more than me. Who or whom, or whose do we have with us today on the program? Go ahead, Mr. Easy Blues.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump into the DeLorean. We're going to throw it to 88 miles an hour. We're going to go back to the before times. The before times. Walking into Cafe 9, hearing the chug of what was noticeably Cherry Bomb. And I was automatically captivated, for there was a musician playing on stage that truly embodied what punk rock was, the aspect, the way things were supposed to be, give you that great throwback to that Riot Girl type of feel. And then is the first moment I realized I was a fan of Trashing Violet. So I want you to put your hands together. Not if you're driving. If you're driving, please keep your hands at 10 and 2 because we don't need any accidents. But mentally, I want you to put your hands together for the fantastic, the amazing, the phantasmagorical Trashing Violet is in the building today. Welcome, Benvenue. Yay.
Awesome. Good to be here, guys. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
it's so pumped to be here. I'm so excited.
Easy. Do you feel we have to go around the room like we're in school?
I think we should give it a little bit of extra time for the people who haven't been on the home show before.
Understand.
So who we have here with us today is Trashing Violet. One at a time, we'd like you to introduce yourselves. I will start off by introducing Switchblade Doug Ang is in the building. Switchblade Doug Ang is in the building.
I have no idea how I got that nickname, but I'm grateful to be here. I'm glad I have a worthy street name. Add some toughness to my life for sure.
Well deserving, Doug.
Yeah, as far as nicknames go, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it could be worse. Totally.
But before the nickname, just tell us a little bit about your musical journey. Just a little bit about before the band and what made you just want to pick up music instrument and just begin this great lifestyle.
Oh man, really firing up the Wayback Machine. So yeah, I'd say my musical journey, in all honesty, started probably in third grade when I took up the viola, and that really kicked off my interest in music in general. Played viola growing up, and then in high school, I was like, you know what, viola's not where the cool kids are. I'm gonna go. I wanted to take guitar lessons, so that's what I did. Me and my brother took guitar lessons, stuck with that for a while. Then college, a couple friends of mine asked if I wanted to join a band. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Never been in a band before. This will be cool. They didn't have a bass player. I played guitar, and they were like, would you mind playing bass? And I said, I'll give it a go. So since college, I've been in and out of bands as a bass player primarily. I've done like 90s cover bands, been in bar bands, done some originals work. And now Trashing Violet, of course. I've been in this band for 5 years. It's been awesome, especially for this stage in my life. I think, what drew me to this band originally was Marisa put out an ad on Craigslist. Not one of those kinds of ads, like a normal musician's wanted ad, the typical must be professional, no egos kind of thing. No, but really she posted an ad saying, she's a parent in the Fairfield area looking to play punk and blues. And I'm like, that all is perfect. So answered the ad, then, kind of the rest is history. We started Trashing Violet.
He was the only one. Like, I had people answering the ads like, well, what about like covers of Stevie Nicks? I was like, please, somebody. So the combination of punk and blues and parenting. And I was like, listen, you gotta be a guy, but you gotta be cool. Like, I have a man, cool, all those things. He's like, yes, I'm a parent. I love my kids. I love punk. I love my wife. I love my life. Like, me. And I was like, oh, duh. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Like in the sea of Craigslist or musicians wanted ads. So around here, it's a lot of, metal guitarist needed or jazz drummer. And I'm like, none of those are really in my wheelhouse. So no, that's punk blues bass player needed. Count me in.
But Nick is a jazz drummer, and he should tell that himself.
Nick, perfect transition. Go ahead, Nick.
Well, I didn't start as a jazz drummer. I mean, way back when I got into drumming with 80s hair metal glam bands. Who couldn't get enough of all that, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So I started drumming probably around third grade also, Doug, around the time you started playing the piano, playing the drums. And that led me going to school for music and doing a lot of jazz drumming. But that seems like 100 years ago now. Since then, connected with these guys and been getting into some rock and punk and really having a great time playing with this group, enjoying the songs we're making and everything. It's been a lot of fun. I ended up in the band because Marisa went to school with my brother.
Cool.
And she was searching for a drummer, and he caught word and kind of connected the two of us. And it worked out, which was great. We've been having a lot of fun since.
Niall, I think you're a new member of the group. Am I right?
Yeah, that's me. I'm the new guy. Yeah, so just like everybody else, started, with the uncool instruments when I was young. Played violin. Actually, I tried to be super cool with the violin and do a sweet little like twisty move and dropped it and it broke in half. So that was the end of my violin days.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was a rental too. So I got
it was a rental.
Yeah.
Oh my god! How much you had to pay?
Oh man, I was young, but I didn't. It came out of my allowance. Let's say I didn't get allowance
gotcha.
Later. Yeah, so picked up guitar. I lived in Philadelphia for a long time and played in a couple bands in the Mid-Atlantic area, and came up to Connecticut and was like, all right, well, Philly's a little bit far to go to rehearsals, so started looking for some groups up here. Same thing, did the Craigslist deal, and the first one I found was a bunch of they're like, yeah, we're playing covers and this and that. I was like, all right, I'll come and check it out, and it was a bunch of like 60-year-old dudes playing bad Steve Miller Band covers in their garage, and I was like,
yeah.
So I didn't even get back on the Craigslist train. That put me off for a while. I was like, okay, there's nobody out here. And then a couple years down the line, I saw this ad. I have a child, I have a young kid right now, and a bunch of parents looking to form they already had a punk band, and I was like, all right, this is kind of right down my alley, and thank God, because now I got somewhere to play music with, and it's fun.
Okay,
Nice.
so Niles is was a famous guitar player in Philly. He's
No.
He's like on tour. He actually made like real money for playing shows. I was kind of like, you can join our band, really? Our little band? You might make $50, at this club, but anyway.
Maybe.
you want to know, that is something that is so amazing about you, Marisa, is you always downplay like how important and how it's the impact in which you put forth there. I remember like playing the first show, you're like, I can't believe you guys are gonna play a show with us, and I'm like, I can't believe you're playing a show with us, to be honest with you. It is that, always that type of thing, and always that level. I've always looked at it as
I think there's like a weird, I don't know if I think might just be unique to me. I've always kind of had like imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my head, I'm like a 16-year-old stoner with green hair who can't sing. It's weird because like that's not the truth. I've taken lessons. I've worked on myself. I make money. You know what I mean? I'm a responsible person. Like it's funny though. Like in my head, sometimes I'm just like, what? And like playing with you guys, playing with Shane Penguin, I was just it would just astound me, like the musicians of this caliber I've never experienced. And also, when we've opened for other bands, like I know there's Tiffany a couple of years ago, but just other acts as well. Like, this gig in Hartford, like we're gonna play the Beat Fest. I'm just like, what? So it's still surreal sometimes.
It is crazy because we've had a chance to play with a lot of great musicians, a lot of local musicians we've met along the way. And I think we all kind of feel that way. We're like, really? You're going to have us in our band? Like, okay, we're happy to be there. Let's do it. But there's so many great people playing on the scene. And, I wish we could get more promotion for all of it and people would come out more. But we're really grateful for the people that do and the people we see and meet. And that's probably been one of the best parts of doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that 100%. I think one of the things I love about being in this band is it really tapped me into the local original music scene for, the first time. You playing cover band, bar, the bar circuit and all that, but this is different. It's a whole different, I feel like, group of people, and they're all incredibly talented. There's so many good musicians and bands in this area, and it's, like Nick said, I do feel like people are missing out on some really great groups. And beyond that, a lot of the bands we played with, I'm always, I'm very hard on myself. I always, I feel like I don't deserve to be on stage sometimes, especially playing with some of these guys. So talented, and everybody's been really cool, and we've met some good friends along the way, like Dustin over here with Shane Penguin. It's always great to play with you guys.
Well, it's so super interesting because, again, this is not even an act for the radio, because this is who you are. Generally, I've been a Bad Religion with you, and running into your old friends. You're like, yeah, I do what I do, and I'm like, do you know who he is? This is Switchblade the Gang. He's a bass player for Trash and Violet. Are you out of your mind? How do you not know? How do you listen to other people? You like Bad Religion? You haven't listened to Trash and Violet? You're out of your mind. And just going that whole type of thing. And now people are starting to buy him drinks. People are like, oh, we're gonna go do things now. We're like, yes, this is how it's supposed to be. And it's just incredible to see and to know. And it's one of the things that I will always love about you guys is just how genuine of human beings you are. It's a crazy world. Strange things have been happening more and more left and right and to the center. So how are you guys able to still create as the world? You guys are parents, your world is going to 90 million miles an hour. So how are you still able to get the creative energy to move forward?
You guys want to take that? Or I can speak to my part. Right. I can't, as these guys know, I'm a little crazy. I can't not create. Like literally, it takes all the effort to not send the song I write at 4 a.m. at 5 a.m. sometimes. Like it's like a lot of restraint. Like I have to think, like, is this really, it'll just come. I mean, sometimes there are dry spells, but I don't know. I went to school to study poetry originally, and then I saw a bunch of dudes playing guitar, and I was like, I want to play guitar and get a girl, so I'm going to learn the G chord. Just kidding. I didn't. That's not why I wanted to play guitar. But it works. It really does.
No judgment zone. No judgment zone at all.
Yeah, it's a judgment-free zone. It's your story. Exactly. You tell it any way you want.
Whatever, I did. But anyways, so for me, words, I'm a writer by profession. They just come to me. Mm-hmm. And melodies, sometimes at inopportune times, like some of the melody and the lyrics for Glow, which we're going to play for you today, came when I was locked in a bedroom during my first bout of COVID in 2022. So to do it as a group and to not, the band, we are all equal contributors. Mm-hmm. Like that song, the way it sounds in a demo in a bedroom is not the same as when, Nick adds a certain kind of drum beat that is like the way certain stops and starts. So, Doug adds a bass line, and like Niles add 10 guitar parts to it. And I'm just like, wow, I didn't know you could actually do that. So it really becomes its own, like an organism from like a tiny little mitochondria, because we're all in it together. So that's kind of from my perspective.
Yeah, I'll add to that too. I think I'm kind of similar in that, throughout the day, I'm commuting in my car, I'm listening to music, of course, but then, random intervals will come up with, I'll start singing a melody in my head that might sound cool. Then, I've going through my day to day, hanging out with the family and the kids. And then as they go to bed, I'll maybe try and turn that melody into something, pull out the guitar. I usually have one by my couch. So while the kids are watching Bluey or whatever, I can just pull it out and, jam a little bit. And then I'll just record it onto an iPhone, a little riff or whatever. I'll send it out to the band and say, hey, do you think we can do anything with this? And what I love about these guys is that they're all usually like, yeah, absolutely. That sounds cool. We can make a start out of that. And then, there's no egos. I'm open to whatever they want to add to it. I don't think anyone of us is offended if we say that doesn't really work here, or maybe if we do this, that might be better. So it's great. I think it fosters a lot of creativity when we come together with that snippet or whatever, that idea, and then just kind of build on it. And I thank these guys are letting me do my thing, and hopefully it's same thing for them too.
And I think too, like the sound of the band has evolved over time. You guys have brought parts, everyone's brought a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and we have a lot of different influences, things we listen to, backgrounds musically and everything. And I think it comes through in the band when we put it all together. You get something different. And Niall's coming in and playing with us for the last year or so. We've heard it evolve again and a little bit different. And there was a song, Rome, we were kind of leaning towards shelving, and Niles was like, well, no, hold on a second, let me dig into that a little bit. And he had some ideas, and he's playing it a little bit different, and we're starting to play it out again. Finding new life.
So good. Rome is like a perfect example. Like now it's like there's a cowboy in that song that didn't exist before. It's like giddy up, it's like it's sexy. I like it.
The cool thing about bringing a demo into a group of people like this is that the people themselves are just as much instruments as the instruments that they play. Like you bring in a part and you can have a chart written out, but it's going to be interpreted by the lens of the person. Even if it's playing the same notes, just the feel is different. Some people pushing forward, pulling back, or just the way you attack the notes. Everybody kind of brings their own flavor to it, and that's the cool thing about the demo is not done until everybody in the band plays it, because then that's the final flavoring.
Yeah, I was just going to say that Niles just brings cowboy with him wherever he goes. It's just part of who he is. And he's wearing a cowboy shirt. That's all. That's
Love
amazing.
the shirt.
He's like our cowboy.
It's too perfect.
Oh,
that was well done. It's so super interesting, to hear other people talk about the creative journey and different aspects of it. I love to get other points of view of how it goes down, because, creativity itself is such an interesting mistress that, it can leave us high and dry in some of our darkest moments, but also be the pillow that tucks us in at night. I love the fact that you guys have now taken that creativity and are able to doodle on the guitar a little bit while BlueZ's on. As now you're making it now a part of your life. One of the questions that I always hated to answer was, how do you manage being a father and a musician? I'm both. And you guys are the perfect example of that, because you are a band of parents that have gotten together, not because you've been playing for 35 years together and, you grew up your families together, because you love a style of music and you wanted to play music together. So how are other ways are you balancing life in general with being creative?
That's a great question.
Yeah, thank you.
We answer that we're not.
That is a perfect.
Anything.
I think it's hard. I don't know. Do you ever feel like you're balancing everything correctly? I mean, as a parent, as a musician, as a creator, as a whatever. I think, I don't know. I always feel like it's hard. And even we have discussions and, dare I say, some fights sometimes in the band about, balancing and the balance of what we're doing and how we're doing it. And, but it comes down to, we all understand that we're all parents and have families, and we're trying to be right by the families, our families, and the band, and being able to create and do all of this. I think we have different ways we handle that. Marisa gets up at 4 a.m. and sends us songs. Doug's doing it by Bluey. Usually for me, I'm in the car trying to learn how to sing parts and listen to stuff and come up with things. And, so I think it's just, we each have a different process.
I think understanding how everyone, understanding that like we have other commitments is, I think, the key. And I'm constantly working about that. Like, yeah, sometimes I can be crabby, like, oh, we can't have practice because somebody's kid has the croup or hand, foot, and mouth. But you know what I mean? We wanted, we wanted other people who are like-minded, who, we have 9.5 kids between us. So we get it. Someone got a sick kid, they've got a sick kid. You know, unless we're playing Carnegie Hall, like unless we're playing a gig, like if it's a practice, okay, we need to be flexible. It's just the way it goes. So, you know, we have to manage our expectations. We're not going to write 10 songs in a year, but like honestly, since Niles joined, we've written like 4 or 5, which didn't used to happen. And we have tons of fun impromptu jams. Like we'll just literally play our instruments and someone will start it and we'll look at the key. Doug knows every single 90s song that was ever created.
It's
Well,
true. I've seen that.
And he
and
can
it's weird,
play
like
it.
it's
Just
what
like
we all somehow know the same music. Like that's how we started playing Two Princes as like
I knew. I can't believe that came up.
it was Niles, you knew that one, and I was like, but we all somehow knew the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
You just admitted to that? Come on now.
The amount of times that a song devolves into Two Princes in our practices
I mean,
we should not divulge that information.
it's a classic. I mean,
Sorry, I should have
it's a
said
reason it got so
Wonderwall.
much hit.
Wonderwall, yeah.
I should have said Wonderwall.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Here's Wonderwall on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, New Haven. Myself, Preston, and my partner in crime in Long Island Rays, Elm City Made. Trashing Violet. This probably may be the 900 millionth time, Marisa, but why the name?
Oh my God, I actually
Good luck with
love
that, Marisa.
I forget. Like every time I ask, I think I make up a different story. Okay, I mean, when we started the band, Nick and Doug were with me in 2019. Niall joined last year, but we coming up with a band name is really, really hard. It's like ridiculous. And everybody has different ideas. But from what I remember, I Love Hole is my favorite band. Courtney Love made me want to play guitar. Honestly, to be honest with you. And Violet's one of her songs. It was also one of our first cover. I think, isn't it, Veruca Salt and Violet Beauregard's a character? Doug, the story,
Yeah.
like, do you guys remember, Nick and Doug, like when we were like, that's
We're
it?
definitely talking about Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Turning Violet.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I can't even remember the full conversation. Maybe there was like alcohol involved. Perhaps that might have contributed to it. But yeah, no, I know Willy Wonka was one of the connective tissues behind some of the ideas we were tossing out there. Same with Hole's Violet. And then, yeah, I don't know. We just started throwing together name combinations and, you know, making sure we go on Google and checking to make sure that name is still available. You know, there's not another band out there with that name. But it's really hard because, yeah, there's lots and lots of bands and a lot of people have the same ideas for band names. But yeah, we're like, all right, this one's not taken. Let's do it. So.
It's so funny because we got the reaction we got from our significant others was like, what? Like, really? Like, that's the band name? But now every band has the name Violet in it. We're like, yeah, we were first. What's up? And I don't know. It works. I love it. I'm luckily, you know, it's fine. We might start like a second band called Violet's Trashin', like a hair metal band.
Okay. I'd like to see that.
You know, all like hair metal songs with just the name.
Nice.
In our band.
There you go.
Yeah,
I would love that. I would love that project. All proceeds go to like the Hair Club for Men or something like that.
I need to get my spandex out of the closet and grow my hair out a little bit.
Like a lot of pinch harmonics, and the Niles would be like tapping, and I have to like figure out how to sing certain notes that I just can't hit right now. But we played with a prog metal band, and it was rad. And I was just like, that's awesome that they can do all those dexterous things, but man, another level.
Yeah. It's always one of the most incredible things. I love pushing the boundaries and, you know, playing with different acts and stuff like that, but also using like, wow, this is incredible, but why? You know, and it's always been like, that's what I love about music, and I love about the diversity of music itself, you know, to keep pushing and to keep growing. You guys are evolving into this new atmosphere. You have the new member. You're going into the new aspect. What can people expect from you guys for 2025? And of course, we have to bring up the Heartbeat Festival is one of the things that they can expect, and that's on June 14th of 2025.
That's gonna be fun. That's just.
I think that's
just gonna be just an old-fashioned good time.
Yeah, I was so excited to be invited to that. I think that was a huge, like, wow, this is going to be great. I mean, Hartford is, it's got a huge audience around it, and to be able to reach that many people and beautiful weather, hopefully outdoors, and playing some other great bands, that's one of the big things that we're looking forward to for sure.
And I think we are on the same stage as our friends Shane Penguin.
Yes, we are on the same stage, which I'm very, very happy for. It means I don't have to go very far to see you guys.
It's hard though. I'm so bummed because like a couple other bands that I love are at the same time as us, and I'm like, no, but it's gonna be great. It's gonna be something like 25 bands, right?
Yeah, there's 25 bands on 3 different stages. I'm hoping the stages are close enough. My goal is halfway through the set to try to make it to another stage. Yeah, that's my goal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that goal. I don't know how you're gonna do that. Like, are you gonna like teleport? Like, you're the lead singer. Like, you kind of.
I got a wireless mic.
All right.
I go outside now. Now I go outside. I go up to the bar. I get a drink during the set just because I got a wireless mic. I can do whatever I want. It's
backing tracks too. There's backing tracks available as well.
No backing tracks. I
need to get a wireless mic. Can I get it like a wireless mic? Is it so? If I get one, I could potentially do that too. Like, I can go get the food for the band.
Yeah, I get food for
Wait, you're gonna get us food? I like the sound of this now.
Yeah,
put in an order.
Where do we put in for this wireless mic?
I need to get the wireless mic in ears, and
the band fund.
Yeah, what else? We have like 3 new singles. We just recorded a tiny bump.
Awesome.
With our friend who we love, your friend Stephen Peter Rogers of Mighty Purple fame, who has every instrument possible in his studio. It's crazy. Like, Niles is a professional photographer, just plugging you and here because you're awesome. And he took all these great photos that really just document the feel and the love in that space he's created. And we had so much fun. Right now, I think we're in the mastering phase for the first of those singles, which is kind of a protest song about being, fired up activist who's in the fight, but then just putting your, just forgetting about it and putting your head in the sand because it's just too much for you, which is very apropos in these times. And a couple others. One sort of metal song called Soft, and then another one that's called Straight Gold. And I don't know how we would describe it.
Strike Gold is just fun. It's like, it's really rhythmic and it's got some space in it. And that's one of those ones that kind of evolved as we played it. And I just love where it's at right now. I think it's a fun song to play.
I cannot wait till you lay down the vocals. Like, oh yeah, Niles sings too. You haven't like
sings.
I can't wait.
Cowboy sings. Okay.
Yeah. Cowboy, no, he like sings like a lead singer sings. Like, I'm like, oh,
gotcha.
Damn. Like, it's like. When I heard you sing. So it's really, all those things that you said about Straight Gold, we're very excited. We're hoping to release that before May, hoping and praying. And that's it. Anything else that I missed, Nick, Niles, Doug, about 2025?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, we're like you said, we're working on getting some new music out there recorded. I think one of the things that we want to definitely do is write some more stuff, get more stuff into our set list. And I think, we're playing probably once a month over the next 6 months or so. Mm-hmm. So that leaves us, a good balance between getting ready for the next gig and trying to work in new songs here and there. So I think 2025, that's what we're shooting for. Get a couple new songs and keep playing whenever we can play.
I think just being open too. There's a lot of, I don't feel anything stagnant about the next year. I think what's going to be cool about 2025 is seeing where 2025 takes us.
Awesome.
It's
just
a lot of everything's always new and it's always fun. And there's never any point where you're just like, this again, or I don't want to do this or whatever. It's always just something fresh.
There's the guy with a baby on the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that.
Congrats, man.
Cowboy Junior.
Oh,
about a month
that's
ago.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Got to mention that, Niles. I mean, that's kind of big for 2025.
Yeah, it'll be I have one now. It'll be 2 under 2 for a little bit. So it'll be fun.
2 under 2.
Let me just I'm sorry. I just wanted to give you advice my friend Easy always says. Run.
Yeah, run far, run fast, just run.
Run far, run fast. I like that.
Yeah, no,
Go ahead, he's
it works
Baba.
out well. It works out well. No, but it's so super interesting. I remember the times of having two under two, and oh boy, it's I don't look forward to that. And especially since not only will you have 2 under 2, but at one point in time you'll have two that are over 15, and that's even worse than under 2. Because that's where I'm sitting right now. And oh boy, let me tell you. I've got twin 14-year-olds or 15-year-olds that are going to be 16 this year, and they are every day I got to remind myself that they're still new here. Yeah. So I totally understand that. And it's a remarkable aspect of things to move forward. Now, the industry is evolving, is changing constantly, and we are kind of moving more towards a single-driven market, a single-driven industry.
Mhm.
So I completely understand where you guys are releasing singles and stuff. Are you guys going to be releasing like a compilation album of singles, or are you going to go in and maybe do like a storybook album, or are you guys just going to stay on the single-minded and release single on single?
Nick usually answers that better than me.
I think staying on the single by single thing is probably the easiest for a band to do. We've had a lot of talks about distributing music. How do you get it out there? The accounts, the logistics of some of this stuff is tricky. So we've always said we would love to kind of put the singles together onto an album with maybe a couple new songs or something. But then, it's like you're pulling it down to put it back up, and then how does that affect everything? Like the logistics of all of it is surprisingly difficult. So we do debate that back and forth. There's pluses and minuses. For now, I think we're trying to just keep putting music out there, and the fastest way, the easiest way to do that is just to put out the tracks as you record them and space them out and let people enjoy them, and get into it and see how people react to the music kind of as we're making it. Get it out there, record it, put it out there and let people enjoy it. It would be great to put an album together sometime, but I think for us to sit down and try to write and record 10 tracks at one time, we don't have time for that. To get in the studio and do that, it's just not gonna, for now, not be something we can do. Maybe when the kids are older. I don't know. So what do you think? 18 years from now, ask us that again. Now kids will be older, and maybe we'll spend a month somewhere recording. But
Oh my God, that would be amazing. Even
that
like
would
2
be
days.
amazing. Yeah, that would be really cool. So, I think for now we're probably just going to keep putting out the singles. I think that's, the quickest and the easiest, and we just want people to enjoy the music, so we just want to get it out there.
Here's the thing also though, like if you're an indie band and you put out an album, that's it. You get your woo celebratory moment. You don't get others. It's so, if you're Taylor Swift, that's not a big deal. You can like secretly put out an album. It markets itself. But for bands to get as much, buzz going, you've got to like keep feeding the machine in small increments. It's just
Right.
sort of the economics of it. And it's okay for us because it fits more into the reality of our lives as busy working parents. But there's also other advantages to it as well.
No, it's so true, because I think that's where we're going to be moving in that type of direction, at least releasing EPs instead of full lengths. There'll be news you guys will be hearing in a couple of days and stuff like that. I won't sprinkle that onto your interview. But what's going on is so interesting to see the evolution of the industry itself. And to see where we're at. I do think we're going to start to see bands and acts releasing records at the end of the year, and it just being like so and so band 2025, and it'll be a compilation of the singles that they released for that year. And then you'll see like the end of the year like 2026, and it'll be the singles they released for that year, in different aspects. I think that's where the industry is going and going to be moving forward. I know that from an independent on an indie label aspect, we have to have the physical copies of CDs to try to make back some of the money that we are investing into these things and those different aspects there, or because we want to spend, we want to break bank and spend $4,000 on a music video So we had to make sure that we sell 3,000 CDs so that we have that money. This the budgeting aspects of being a musician is always fun and twisted and ridiculous.
Or vinyl, man. I mean, vinyl surpassed CD sales, I think, in 2022 finally.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I love, I'm a big vinyl guy. I've got two record players actually. I continue to buy vinyl. I think that's I love it. I think it's cool.
Yeah, and vinyl
some
actually,
of the new cars don't even have CD players anymore.
Right. Well, most of them don't. Most of them don't. And vinyl themselves actually, there are certain places where you can do independent cuts for so you can do like 300.
Yep.
And the cost of 300, you can actually spun out to the first 100 people that buy the record. So if you know that 100 people will buy your record, it's a safe bet to invest that money into buying vinyl. But again, we're talking about investing, $3,000, $3,500 worth of money into things. And, like kids eat. And they like food, a lot of food. And when they get older, they like a lot of food, like a lot of food. And then not only do they like a lot of food, but then the doctor says that they're underweight and they have to eat more food. And you're like, what?
I should have not stopped breastfeeding, because I think about all the money I could have saved if I was nursing until they were 5 each instead of 1.5 each.
Right.
You're talking about labels, working with bands and stuff, and we don't work with a label, and I think a lot of bands aren't working with labels anymore. A lot of us are doing it independent and don't have that money up front, and I think that's a big piece of this. I said the logistics, and Marisa said the reality of it is just we're on our own, we're working parents and kind of making it up as we go, and the little bit of money we make just gets reinvested into some recording and putting some stuff out. We're just trying to have a good time as we go. So, without having that label around, it's hard. You don't have that upfront money or the loan or however they, try to.
That's the twisted part. It's not even upfront money really, and unless you see in the contract that it's non-recoupable. That's one word that I learned in this long musical journey of mine is look for a contract to say non-recoupable. And then that money is at least safe for you. But yeah, it is definitely a terrifying world to live in, this post labels type of aspect, but it's also extremely freeing because you don't have that label to sit there and say, you can't say this, you can't sing this. This song is a little bit too apolitical. This song is a little bit too, left or right or center. So you have more creative freedom. I love the fact that you guys are using that and not only doing that, but going in and really tapping into the scene of New Haven, of CT, working with Steve Rogers, moving forward in those different aspects. I know also, I think Marisa, you're doing a solo set at CT Rocks Fest coming up in May. I believe I saw advertised.
Yes, I do about 1 or 2 a year. And the reason I want to do this one, I have a song I wrote about my mom that I want to play at Mother's Day. She is her health is declining very badly. So, and also Niles will be on paternity leave. So.
There you go.
It's unpaid paternity leave, though.
Unpaid.
It is.
He's going to be paid in joy. He's going to be paid in joy and happiness and those moments of not sleeping. Those moments of not sleeping are going to be so valuable at some point in your time in your life.
The real currency of the world.
Yeah, the real currency is the lack of sleep.
I feel like once you have a baby, though, the toddler has become so much harder. I'm you can just put the the headphones on the baby. Bring the baby to practice, baby sleep, especially the first 2 months. You can take them anywhere.
I mean, my kids grew up in recording studios and practice spaces, so I can't really say much. And they're fine. They're fine. I mean, my one of my youngest just did his first open mic. So yeah, it's incredible to see their type of evolution as well. And now that's an amazing question that really isn't asked to parents and that are musicians. What do you see? Do you see the gift of music in your children? I know that you have a 2-year-old, so I'm not sure if you can really answer this question
in his own way.
Yeah. But do you see that the gift in music there, and are you going to be more of like you have to be in the lessons and you have to do the things that are necessary, or are you going to be more hands off? If the art finds them, the art finds them.
I mean,
I
I
took it.
guess. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
I was
interrupted.
going to say, I guess my approach was it'll find them if it finds them, if it interests them. I have guitars, piano, my drums, around the house, and unfortunately, my kids aren't that interested in any of it. The little ones, maybe we'll see. They might change their minds. They listen to a lot of music, but as far as playing, my kids aren't that into it. It was here, and they just haven't gravitated towards it. I don't think that's everyone's experience though in the band.
I'd say it's mixed. I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat where I don't feel like I want to push music on them or say you absolutely have to take music lessons. I think it's an important part of, academia and just growing up, I think, is to get that musical inspiration from wherever and what you want to do with it, whether that's play an instrument. My oldest son's actually in the choir in middle school. My younger one has got energy, and I think he would be an awesome drummer, but I'm not, maybe I'll slide a snare drum in front of him and see what happens. But,
Bringing a drum set over, Doug, now that I heard that.
We don't have room for that.
I'll find
I don't have enough earplugs for that either. But no, in all seriousness, I think, I want to see what they want to do. My oldest actually took piano lessons, and then he was, doing great with it. He was enjoying it, but then COVID hit and he couldn't do in-person lessons anymore. And the Zoom thing was just too much for him. But I'd like to see him, come back to it. I know they listen to all kinds of different music, not the stuff that I listen to generally, but that's good. I think that's great. They're drawing inspiration from somewhere, and hopefully it guides them down a path on its own without me pushing them.
It's interesting, Doug, you said how they like listening to it, and it's funny, my kids don't play, but they do enjoy going to concerts, and we've done that and gone to different shows and things, local shows and other stuff that I'll bring them to. So that's been a great way to enjoy music with them, and obviously listen in the car and everything.
I love that your kids go to concerts. My kids went to see a Queen cover band. My younger guy likes Queen, but my kids do not want to play any rock instruments. You have to understand, I have a bass, 5 amps, a PA, everything in my house. My younger kid wanted to pick up violin so he could play the song that is being played when the Titanic sinks, which is near my guy to be.
Good Lord, on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven, myself, Preston, with Trashing Violet. Marisa, continue.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so that's what he wants to play. My older kid he plays the saxophone in school because they have to play an instrument, but his passion is creating content. He's got like 13,000 YouTube followers for his MLB YouTube channel. I'm taking him to see Kendrick Lamar. He introduced me to Juice WRLD. Like, he has opened my world to like all this new hip hop out there, like Glorilla. Like, I hadn't heard until my son, played her, because he uses some of these artists like Travis Scott. Like, that's his jam. And so I'm excited to see SZA and Kendrick Lamar. I'm really pumped. Like, that's like, normally my jam is like Guns N' Roses at MetLife Stadium, but I'm taking my son to see Kendrick instead. So they're their own people. Like, there's this, I think this idea, like, because I edit a blog called Rock Mommy, that my kids are all going to be at School of Rock playing like, Joan Jett. That's not the way it is. They're their own people, and they have to rebel in their own way. Like, it's funny when they come home from school, I'll be playing guitar and they'll like, turn it down, mom. Like, I'm not cool. I'm so not cool to them. So
I think that's interesting what you said though, Marisa, about you learning from them, because I think, I don't know if you guys were raised any differently, but my parents absolutely hated whatever I was listening to. They did not want to hear it in the car. They did not want to hear Guns N' Roses coming out of my room at like too high volume. But I think maybe some of that stuck with me, and my kids don't listen to a lot of the same stuff I listen to. They listen to pop music, Chappell Roan, Olivia Rodrigo, and stuff that I never would have found myself listening to. But I'm actually getting more acquainted with it, and it's not bad. It's not my cup of tea, but I'm learning from them, and I think that not shutting down and saying, no, we're not listening to this in the car. Not having that instinct is, a different take than what my parents took. And hopefully that will foster some more inspiration for them. They'll see that they can listen to whatever they want to listen to. They can draw whatever their inspiration for whatever their interests are, and have it be a more natural evolution from there.
Niall, so you probably listened to it. I know you said your Spotify top 5 was all Bluey's soundtrack.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
We love Bluey in this band, by the way.
Nice. Bluey is awesome. Bluey is amazing. Unfortunately, they are starting to pull the Apollo curtain on us, and we want to give you guys all the opportunity possible to promote yourself, see how people can get in contact with you. But one last thing, inspiration to that kid sitting on their bed right now, rocking out to the newest single. What advice do you have for them moving forward?
Don't forget who you are and fight the power. Don't lose your glow.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good start. That's a good start.
Yeah.
Good start. Let's keep that train moving. There we
Yeah.
go. Positivity. Let's go.
Just listen with an open ear. You could find something that maybe you like, something you didn't like, but let that be something you pick up and take with you on your own musical path.
Keep practicing. Keep practicing. Play with as many people as you can. You learn something from everybody. So many good musicians out there.
Cowboy.
You know what? I've been trying to think about this, and I think okay, I'm going to try to boil this down. When I was young, it was all about being cool and stuff. But, when you grow older, you realize that whatever you're into is cool. Like, that's getting too big out there, too far out. But, like, just be yourself. Like, you're cool as it is. Like, there's always people that are, if you think that there's always somebody. You're always going to find your people. And everything has value. That's good.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna try to bring it back down to earth now.
That's
I like that now.
Every answer was a good answer, bro. Don't
Your
feel
people are out there now. You're right. That's
Yeah.
growing up. That's a hard one for people to realize.
Yeah.
Your people are out there. You're going to find them as you go through life. They're out there. You're going to find them. You're going to connect.
You'll find your cowboys.
Yep.
Find your Cowboys. That's awesome. Then how can people follow you? How can they invest in the band? And how can they move forward? Like, give us all those social medias. Plug yourselves away.
I mean, well, the guys are on OnlyFans. Just kidding.
Oh, nice. Word.
We got to pay for those
I've seen
recordings.
Switchblade's channel. It's good.
Only Cowboys.
Crashing Violet foot account. We can see Doug's.
No, don't go there. Don't do that. Don't fall for his accounts. That'd be my advice for kids these days too.
You can go to trashingviolet.com and click to all of our things. You can find us on TikTok, Bandcamp, all the streaming services, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all the things.
All the streaming stuff.
All the stuff. We're there. You want us, you can find us.
Most importantly, come out and see us in person. Meet us in person. Come to the shows. That's
Yeah.
where the real fun is.
Come say hi to us.
100%. Next show is at Gastro Park in West Hartford with Illuminus. So we're super pumped about that. That is April 12th. Don't miss it. And then and we're coming back in June to Hartford. And I think we're playing Bleachers in Bristol at some point, June 7th. Maybe. But anyways, April. Come see us in April.
Go. Everybody, thank you for being part of the program. We really do appreciate it. Trashing Violet here on Preston and my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City Made, Mr. EZ BlueZ, WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Appreciate everybody and see you next time. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But now you're harder than the goes